Hey, happy Monday. Hello, I am Shamaree. I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I specialize in empowering women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially in relationships. And I do this weekly Q&A where I answer questions that you guys submit to me throughout the week. And so just like every week, I have a few questions that I'm going to go ahead and answer for you guys. If you have questions that you're interested in getting answered, then I do post in my story almost every day. And I let you guys know that you can submit your questions straight through the story. So if you are thinking of something, check my story, and that is the way that you'll be able to send that information to me. The other way that you can do that is if you're a woman and you're interested in joining the Facebook group. That is another place that you can get advice or an answer directly from me. So you definitely want to be doing that. If you are not a part of the Facebook group, but you want to be, then you want to go to my Instagram bio. The link that's there, it's to my easy tree. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see all of my social media links. If you click on the Facebook one, that's how you can join the Facebook group, but you'll also see like my YouTube there. If you want to follow me on any other platform, that's probably the quickest way that you can find me on all platforms. It's going to be Shamaree LAB, just like here on Instagram, but go ahead and check that out. But I do want to get into the questions so we can keep this fairly quick. The wind is winding outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they sent an alert just as far as safety goes. I live in the desert, so it's like a dust storm sort of situation. So I do want to keep this as quick as possible. So the first question that I have here is, why do men mislead women into thinking they would like to, that they like them, and just disappear after having sex? So this is something that I talked about on Facebook a little bit, and I did have a little bit of an exchange. So this is from a woman asking why men specifically are misleading. So first thing that I kind of said is that there can be a million reasons, and really only that individual knows their specific reason, but some of the reasons that men can be misleading include that I as far as my experience goes, so professionally, my friends and family, things that I've heard along the way, my personal experiences, what I've picked up from men directly and indirectly is that a lot of times they don't know or understand boundaries. So they don't know that they should have their own boundaries. And if a boundary of theirs is that they really actually truly do not want to be in a relationship, they feel like they can't say that directly because they're afraid of what the reaction is going to be to that. So maybe they don't understand that they should have boundaries and that they should express these boundaries. So maybe they have this in their head, like I don't want to be with this person, but they never actually say it. So that's one thing, just not understanding, not knowing how, not feeling like they can, because a lot of times men feel like they're not heard, because sometimes women don't listen to what a man is saying, and we try to read into what they're doing or not doing more so than what they're saying. So those are some things. But then on the other side of that, I kind of said that most men have done this before, right? So they've gone into a situation where they've had a conversation maybe where they have said, yeah, I really do want to be with you, whether they meant it or not. And that led to them being able to access this woman in all the ways that they wanted to. So maybe they were looking for sex, maybe they were looking for companionship, whatever it is. But them saying that they do like them and they do want to be in a relationship got them what they wanted. So there's that. So most of them have done this before. So they know that if they do this, that they can end up getting what they want. They don't know that if they're honest, that it's going to yield the same positive result that they want. And so, yes, there are tons of women who are all for it. Like, be honest with me. If that's all you want, then we can keep it there. But there's a lot of women that don't want that and they can't live that, and that's not something that's in alignment with who they are. So they don't know who those women are ahead of time, right? So they're gonna say what they feel like they need to say in order to get the results that they want. Does that make it okay? No, but that's what I've kind of picked up along the way, is that just based on their history, not knowing, understanding boundaries, not feeling like they can express themselves clearly, not feeling like they're going to get the results that they want, they learn how to get the results that they want, whether that's by lying overtly, like knowing I don't want you, but I'm going to tell you that I want you. Or sometimes they want to believe that that's something that they want. So maybe they're not ready for a relationship, but they play the role and they hope that somewhere along the way they will believe what they are saying, like, hey, maybe I can be with this person. So I think there's a lot of different reasons for it, and it's not always malicious. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's just based on trying to get a need met. That's the way they learn that it works, and they don't know for sure. If I tell you I don't want to be with you, I just want to have sex with you, that you're going to be down for that. So I think that that's what it is. And on the other side of that, I also mentioned that we need to not always depend on the other person convincing us or showing us something before we decide that we want to give into it, right? So maybe I want to have sex with you, maybe I'm interested in you, and I need to set what my boundaries are, and I need to stick to that. So if you're telling me that maybe we should just go with the flow, or all of those ways that they say they don't want to be with you, right? So all of those roundabout ways, I need to take that information and I need to stay in alignment with what I believe. So if I want to be in a relationship, I want to get married, and you're not showing me or telling me that that's what you want as well, then I need to be strong enough within my boundaries to have that control with myself. So not only with you to tell you no and to not entertain it, but to stick to what I said I'm going to do for me. So we need to make sure that we're doing that. But then also, if you want to engage in sex, don't do it because you were convinced that you need to engage in sex. Like, this is gonna evolve into something more because I gave him this. Like, I know I got that fire, so if I give him this, he's going to feel this way. And that's the wrong way to go into any type of situation. Do it because you want to. If you don't want to, do not do it, because it's gonna cause a lot of difficult emotions, a lot of struggle within the dynamic. So definitely, if you want to do it, then do it, but don't allow someone to convince you or to think that that's a tool for you to get what you want. So just like they learned that lying or making you believe they want you in a deeper way is going to get them sex, maybe a lot of women think that, okay, if I give him these things, there's no way he's not going to see that I'm great. There's no way he's not going to want to be with me. Wrong way to go about the situation on both parts. Definitely stay true to what you believe and what you want. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't. And that goes both ways. I do believe men should be a little bit more forthright. But like I said, they don't always have the tools to do so. And when I was doing my therapy, I would say I worked a lot with men, and I've gotten a lot of stories and a lot of messaging directly from them, and I don't coddle anybody. So I tell them, like, I get it, like, we adapt everything because it works, right? We do it until it doesn't work anymore, or until we're forced to change it, right? So we have to hold each other accountable. We have to learn new tools. We have to look for new tools. So that's what I say about that. It's not always malicious, but it's definitely not a healthy way to go about things. Do not mislead people. Be honest. There's plenty of people out there who want the same thing that you do. You just have to find them. And the next question, how to get your partner to explore other fun options sexually. So for this, like I always say, first, we cannot make anybody do anything, right? But we can influence people and we can make things enticing. So what I always say, if there's something new that you want to try that maybe you've never done before, sharing what that fantasy is or what those activities are that you're interested in, bringing it up in casual conversation. So not at any sort of heightened time, not if you're under stress, not if you're in an argument, not right before you're about to get down to it, or not right after, just like a neutral time, so that all defenses are down. No one or people are much less likely, I'm not going to say they're not going to be, but they're much less likely to be defensive or offended by what you say. So bringing it up during those times, but then also expressing what it is that you are intrigued by in that instance, or what it is that you like if it's something that you've done previously. So sometimes when we hear something and we're like, nah, I don't want to do that. It's very easy to shut it down when a person's just like, hey, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? Nah, I don't think that's something I'm into. But if we give context or background, if this is a person who truly cares about us, more often than not, they're going to at least listen to your perspective. So telling them like, hey, these are the things that I like about this. Like, this sounds fun, because the thought of losing control is really exciting to me. The idea that I can trust you so much that I can just allow myself to experience this. This is something that I would only feel comfortable doing with you. And I only want to do it if you're also interested in trying it with me. Things like that, just really expressing what it is. If there's a specific sensation that you're excited to experience, or something that really, like, maybe it's something that you've discovered maybe early on, because I feel like when we're a little bit younger, a little bit more open to trying different things, right? When we're first exploring what pleasure is, if you've noticed, or you notice that you like a certain type of porn, or if you, when you masturbate, you always do it in a certain way, and that's not something that's a part of your sex life with this person, you can point to those as examples of, this is what I really like when I'm by myself, or when I was younger, this is what I did, and this is just really something that I enjoy, and it brings me great joy, and I would like to share it with you. So just those sorts of things, making sure that they understand where you're coming from, and then also listen to them. If they're very much opposed to something and they have really strong reasoning for that, then you definitely want to respect that. But I think that, like I said, if people genuinely care about you, and want to grow the relationship and intimacy and expand their sex life with you, more often than not, they're going to be a little bit more open, even if they're closed off to it initially. So that's kind of more of a general answer for that. That's something that if you want more on, you can definitely reach back out, send me another question, or give me a specific example of something that you would want to express, to see if the partner is going to be responsive. You want like the best way to phrase it or to put it, the best circumstance, or what you can use. Sometimes materials are helpful if you have like books, articles, videos that you can kind of show to them, like, hey, research shows that this is a very pleasurable area, and like, having someone to co-sign you more or less, sometimes that's helpful too. So definitely let me know, and I can let you know. That might also be something that I look into doing a YouTube video about. So if you don't know, I'm Shamaree. I'm a relationship and intimacy coach. I am going to be starting to post regular content on my YouTube page, where I'll be getting more in depth on a lot of the topics that I specialize in, that I love, just because YouTube allows you to get a little bit more deep than Instagram does. I don't want to get banned or any of that, so I try to keep it a little bit more clean when I'm here. But if you follow me on YouTube, and like I said earlier, if you check out the link in my bio, go to my easy tree all the way at the bottom, the YouTube channel is there. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You want to make sure that you're sticking around, because those videos are coming very soon, and I do anticipate that I'll be releasing videos on Fridays, Freaky Friday. Keep it interesting. And I do have, like I said before, I think I have about 10 videos planned already, so it's definitely gonna be a lot more interesting, I think. So you want to be following me there. And I have a few other things that I did want to mention too. If you are specifically struggling with confidence and or like feeling sexy, connecting within your sex life, having pleasure in your sex life, or just being bored with it, I do have the course Better Sex Guide to Confidence, Satisfaction, and Orgasms Without Faking. That's also in that link in my bio. If you go to courses, you are able to go ahead and purchase that so you can access all of the tools that I've compiled, tons of information, things that can kind of help you in that journey. And you get access to it for a lifetime, but it is a 6-month course. That is designed that way. If you do one objective a week, it'll take you 6 months, but you can take your time, do it whatever pace works best for you. And in addition to that, if you're the type of person who needs additional support, you need more accountability, I can help you with that. So I'm also going to be releasing a calendar where you can schedule time with me in order to meet, because I'm going to be launching a group coaching program where you'll actually be able to work with me. So you'll be going along with the course material. There's a workbook that's involved with that. There's tons of activities, but you'll also be able to meet with me and then also like-minded women and individuals who are going through similar things, so that we can all share ideas and I can help guide you as you improve your confidence and improve your sex life, because we all deserve to have real confidence and real relationship satisfaction, real orgasms. Anything less than that is not good enough for you or for me, especially me. So you definitely want to be following me here on IG if you're not already, and then go ahead and make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube. Check out the course, check out all the other freebies that we have listed there too. So you want to check out the freebies before you buy. I get it, cool, do that. And then after you go through that, if you feel like you still need more, you want to see what's up, definitely check out the course and stay tuned for the group coaching, which is coming very soon. As soon as I have the specific date and I have everything set up, then I'll definitely announce that so that you can anticipate that. But next question, is it weird that I don't know how to comfort my romantic partners, but I can comfort everyone else? And so this was also something that was on Facebook. And so kind of what I started it with, or kind of set it up with, is if you know how to comfort people, then you know how to comfort someone. So regardless of who that is, maybe it's not what they are needing in that moment, but if you know how to do it for everyone else, it's not that you don't know how to do it for your romantic partners. Maybe there's something that's going on that makes you feel uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean you don't know how. I think that most of the time in anything as humans, especially if we are introspective, if we're mature to some extent, we know what we should be doing or what we maybe should avoid doing. We know that intellectually, but sometimes there's a disconnect between that, our feelings, and then that in our behavior. So if you know how to comfort someone, then you know how to comfort someone, whether it's what they need in that moment or not. It's something that you know how to do. So it's not a question of not being able to or not knowing how to. It's a question of what about them being vulnerable or crying or whatever the case may be is making you uncomfortable. And the person who asked this question was a woman, and they were referring to a man and how he was getting emotional. He was crying, and she felt uncomfortable. So after I asked a few questions, she kind of got to the answer that she feels uncomfortable. She grew up around men who never did any of that, and it was viewed as being weak. And when he was crying, she asked if he wanted to be alone, rather than kind of going to comfort him, whether that's in the form of a hug or asking if he wanted to talk or just sitting there with him. And he told her no, he didn't want her to leave him alone. So he was basically saying, like, I do want you to be here. Like, I'm okay with you seeing me in this state. But she was not okay with that. She viewed it as weak. Like I said, she felt very uncomfortable. And her view of what a man is or what a man should be does not involve him expressing or crying or being to that extent, right? And so what I kind of also mentioned, just kind of as an aside, is that I know as women, we hear a lot about, oh, I want my man to express this or that to me. I want him to be able to tell me how much he loves me, how much he cares about me, and to be in touch with that and be able to express that to me. And that's okay. But as soon as he's upset or overwhelmed by something else, maybe he gets to the point of crying, or he is just really overwhelmed and weak because he doesn't have an outlet of expressing that emotion. At that point, we want him to shut down emotions. We no longer care if he's expressive because it's weak. Like, that's too much expressing, right? And as humans, we all have a range of emotions that we can experience. We should all be able to express those emotions in whatever way that should be. As a human being, men are humans just like women are humans. So I think that the expectation that they should be so in touch with their emotions and so deep in love and admire and hold us on this pedestal and be able to worship us in this way and express this very clearly to us, but not be able to express any other emotion. As soon as you're sad, you need to suck it up. As soon as you're grieving something, you need to suck it up. And I think that's very unfair. And so when I kind of put that out, I'm like, where is this messaging coming from? And do you believe that men should not be human in that way? And not even to be like rude or anything, but it's just like, if you think about it logically, when we are telling men not to feel these things, we're telling them not to be in touch with their humanness, their humanity. Like, we're telling them that, okay, in these instances, it's okay to be a human, but all these other times, you need to cut that out. We ain't doing that. And I don't think that that's fair. If I'm upset by something, if I'm happy about something, whatever my emotion is, I want to be free to share that. And especially with the person that I'm building a life with. If you're my partner who I'm going to be spending time with, whether that's for life or for this time, ideally, I would want to be able to share that with you. Like, you're the one that for me, my partner is the first person that I look for whenever something's going really well, if something's going really bad. Like, that's who I look for. And if you're not able to be yourself to express those emotions in all of those instances, it can be really difficult. So I think that we kind of have to break down some of those messaging. Men are human. They're going to have emotions. And if you can comfort everyone else in your life, then you have the capacity to comfort him as well. And we just kind of have to change the way that we look at it. Let him be a human. It's okay. And just because we're given a message doesn't mean we have to accept it. So yes, maybe you grew up, your father, your brothers, your cousins, uncles, whomever. Maybe that's how they lived their life, and maybe it worked for them. I think a lot of times it didn't, but they survived. They made it to this point, and we think that that's what everything should be, and that's not the case. People do the best that they can with the information that they have at that time, and I think that we've grown so much as a society, and there's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but I think that we're learning more and more that men are human, women are human. If you identify as something other than that non-binary, you're human as well. So I don't subscribe to the idea that men crying is weak. So if your partner is in need of comfort, if you know how to comfort other people, then it should be something that you can do for them as well. And we just kind of have to break down some of those thoughts that we have. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. You just most likely need to find someone that has those same ideals. And like, everyone can make the rules for their relationship. They can decide what they believe. You don't have to listen to what my beliefs are at all. But I think that it's important to find someone who's in alignment, because you guys are going to run into this. He's going to have bad emotions. He's going to have sad emotions. He's going to be stressed. He's going to be overwhelmed. There's going to be loss in life, things that he experiences. And if that's his way of dealing with it, each time that happens, you're going to be put in the same situation. So I think that it's easier to find someone who's more in alignment with you if that's something that you really, really want to stick to. But if not, if you do want to be there, if you do care about these people, then you definitely want to kind of break down what it is that's holding you back. What's stopping you from doing what you know how to do? Because you said you know how to do it. So what's holding you back? What's preventing you? Because I find that a lot of times, once we kind of break through that barrier, that vulnerability, that's how relationships grow deeper in intimacy. We have to be vulnerable. Otherwise, there's no growth. Nothing happens. It's just stagnant. So that's kind of how I approached that. I think that she was really receptive because she kind of came to a conclusion. And again, I was on Facebook. So like I said, if you want to get more feedback, then you definitely want to be on the Facebook, in the Facebook group. Because that's the only way you're going to get that for the free. And then the last question, in what scenario, if any, is it okay to lie to your partner? So, I was thinking about this question. I told my husband too. So the time that it's okay to lie to your partner is when you are planning a surprise party, a surprise trip, a surprise gift. If they ask you, what do you get me for my birthday? And it's a surprise. You can lie. Or, I mean, I try not to lie in any instance, right? So I try to make it so that it's still a truth. So if they ask me, what am I getting them for their birthday? I usually try to play it off at like, don't worry about it, none of your business. Or probably nothing. Like I like to make it a joke, to make it a funny thing, so that it's not, because it's not necessarily a bad lie. There are good lies. Surprises are good lies if they're into surprises, right? But I still try not to make it a habit to lie. So I try to make it a truth in some way, or saying something you really like, or it's going to be something that you like, or something that you've been looking forward to, or, something like that, so that it's not too overt or too extra and tell them you buying them a house and ain't no house when the day comes. So something like that I can definitely see you lying about, and no one's gonna be upset about it. Anything else though, I really couldn't think of any other example where it would be okay to lie, because there's ways that you can make the truth prettier or more flowery. So sometimes the truth hurts, but you can say it in a way that softens it. So whether that's about something small, so like maybe you don't like their outfit and they ask you if you like their outfit, instead of being like, nah, that's ugly, you can let them know, like, why don't you try it with this? Or I like it when you wear that. Or I like these shoes better. So it's not necessarily like, nah, that's trash, but you're still telling them that you prefer something different, right? So there's always a way to go about things. There's always a way to be very tactful and careful with your words, because words mean things, especially if you are the type of person who really needs words of affirmation. So if you saw the post the other day, you saw the love languages. If words of affirmation is one of yours, and it's mine, so words mean things. So when you say things, I remember. So you definitely want to be careful with your words. But I do believe that telling the truth is always the best. Just work on your delivery. And if you need help with that, then I definitely can help with phrasing things. I think I try my best to phrase things carefully. And if I don't, then you know that I meant it. Like I said that purposely. So yeah, that was the last question. So again, I'm Shamaree. I'm a relationship and intimacy coach. I specialize in empowering women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially in relationships. If you have questions that you would like me to answer, I do these lives every Monday, unless it's a holiday or a special occasion, or if I just tell y'all I need a day. But otherwise you can expect that every Monday, and it's 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 Eastern time. If you want to tune in each week, that's the time. I do keep these posted up. So if you've made it this far, hashtag replay in the comments, and let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, or if something was particularly interesting, definitely comment below. But that's all that I have for you. Make sure you're following me and all that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.